What if I told you there's a letter that describes exactly what Jesus looked like? His height, his hair color, even his eye color? This isn't from the Bible. It's from Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor who sentenced Jesus to death. And what he reveals will shock you. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know the truth about Jesus' appearance that's been hidden for centuries. So here's the story. After Jesus was crucified, Pilate wrote a detailed letter to the Roman Emperor Tiberius. In this letter, he doesn't just talk about the trial, he describes meeting Jesus face to face, witnessing his miracles, and even investigating the empty tomb. But here's what makes this letter so incredible. Pilate was a tough Roman governor. He'd seen battles, ruled provinces, dealt with rebellions. Yet when he writes about Jesus, his tone completely changes. He starts by warning the emperor, "The events in my province have been so astonishing that they could impact the fate of our entire empire." Think about that. A Roman governor so shaken by what he witnessed that he thinks it could bring down Rome itself. But let's get to what you really want to know. What did Jesus actually look like? According to Pilate, Jesus had average height and long soft hair that fell over his shoulders. But here's the part that'll surprise you. His hair wasn't dark like most people in that region. It was light brown, almost blonde, and slightly wavy. His eyes were his most striking feature. Pilate describes them as deep and piercing, seeming to change color depending on who was looking, sometimes light brown, sometimes blue. But what everyone noticed was how his eyes showed incredible kindness and wisdom at the same time. Jesus had fair skin with a smooth texture. His face was described as beautiful and perfectly balanced, the kind of face that inspired respect without being intimidating. He wore a well-groomed beard and dressed simply but with dignity. Clean robes, no flashy jewelry, nothing to show off. His whole appearance communicated humility, but also unmistakable authority. Pilate writes something that gives me chills. Without saying a word, he could make people feel peaceful and welcome. But how did Pilate first encounter Jesus? Here's where the story gets really interesting. Pilate was walking through Jerusalem when he saw a massive crowd gathered around someone. It was Jesus, leaning against a tree, speaking calmly to hundreds of people. Instead of interrupting, Pilate sends his secretary to blend into the crowd and listen. When the secretary returns, he tells Pilate, "I've never heard wisdom like this. Not even from the greatest philosophers." Then someone in the crowd tries to trap Jesus with a political question. Should we pay taxes to Caesar? Jesus' answer? Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. Right there, Pilate realizes this man isn't trying to start a rebellion. So he makes a decision that would change everything. He gives Jesus complete freedom to teach throughout his territory. As Jesus becomes more popular, the Jewish leaders get angrier. They're complaining to Pilate daily, threatening to write to Caesar himself. So Pilate decides to meet with Jesus personally. And what happens next is absolutely incredible. When Jesus arrives at Pilate's palace, this tough Roman governor completely loses his composure. Here's how he describes it. "I was standing on my balcony when Jesus approached. Suddenly, I felt like my feet were glued to the floor. My whole body started shaking. But Jesus? Completely calm. Peaceful. Like nothing in the world could disturb him." Pilate tries to warn Jesus that his enemies are getting dangerous, basically begging him to tone down his message. But Jesus' response is chilling. When the time comes, there will be no refuge for the Son of Man, not on earth or beneath it. The only true refuge is in heaven. It's like Jesus already knows exactly what's going to happen. Eventually, Jesus' enemies force Pilate's hand. During Passover, when Jerusalem is packed with visitors, they arrest Jesus and demand his death. Pilate tries everything to save him. He sends Jesus to Herod, hoping to pass the responsibility. Herod sends him back. He offers to release Jesus as was customary during the festival. The crowd demands a different prisoner. He even has Jesus flogged, thinking that would be enough punishment. But the crowd keeps screaming, "Crucify him!" Finally, Pilate tries one last desperate move. He reminds them of their own laws, how no execution can happen the same day as sentencing, how the accused has the right to multiple appeals. None of it matters. The mob wants blood. What Pilate describes about the crucifixion day is absolutely mind-blowing. The sky grows dark in the middle of the day. The ground shakes so violently that it's felt all the way in Egypt. Black clouds gather over the temple and spread across Jerusalem. Pilate writes that even a Jewish leader said, either the Creator is suffering, or the universe is falling apart. But here's the most heartbreaking part. As the crowd returns from the crucifixion, Pilate notices they're completely silent. The same people who screamed for Jesus' death are now walking home looking like they regret everything. Even the Roman soldiers were shaken. They covered their military standard with mourning cloth. 3 days later, the tomb is found empty. And Pilate, being a good Roman governor, investigates thoroughly. The soldier who was on duty that night reports seeing a beautiful light appear over the tomb around 4 a.m. The whole area lit up, and he saw what looked like countless people in burial clothes, all appearing young and joyful. He heard the most beautiful music imaginable, like the entire sky was singing. Then the ground shook so violently that he fainted. When he woke up, Jesus' body was gone. The Jewish priests tried to bribe the soldier to say the disciples stole the body. But he refused, saying he never saw any disciples that night. Pilate ends his letter with something that should make everyone think. He writes, "Both friends and enemies agreed that Jesus had power over nature itself. If he truly did all these things, and thousands witnessed them, then it's clear he wasn't accused of ordinary crimes." And then this Roman governor, who sentenced Jesus to death, writes, "I'm starting to believe what someone said at the cross. Truly, this was the Son of God." Whether this letter is authentic or not, it gives us an incredible glimpse into how Jesus was perceived by someone who actually met him. Not as a religious symbol, but as a real person who left an unforgettable impression. So what do you think about all this? Is this letter from Pilate actually real? Did Jesus really look the way Pilate described? Here's what we know for sure. This story has been passed down for almost 2,000 years, and people are still talking about it today. Some historians say the letter is genuine. Others think it was written later by someone else. But whether it's real or not, it gives us an amazing look at how people saw Jesus back then. What's your take? Do you believe Pilate really wrote this? Have you heard this story before? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If this story amazed you as much as it amazed me, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We dig up incredible historical stories like this every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.